Okay, in this next video I want to show you how to put in an item on your menu where you can check it and uncheck it and make something. In this case it disappears and comes back. So let me just show you what happens when I run this. You can see that this is a label, and when I click on the view menu here, which I've added, it's checked off, which means the label is going to show up, and when I click on it, it disappears, and when I click on it again, it comes back. So it's a little check box here that comes back and forth. So how did I do that? Well, the first thing you have to do is you got to create the label, and the label I'm going to use it in several different places in my program. So I'm going to declare it above the main, and because I'm declaring it above the main, it has to be static. And I just chose to put these words in there. You can put whatever words you want, just keep them clean, and basically I call it status bar. And then because I want to put another menu on my across the top, you can see I have the view menu up there. So now I have the file menu and the view menu. I want to be able to create that. So just like I created the file menu, which is right here, I have to create another menu called view. So I created another menu. It's a J menu item, and I gave it a little key shortcut, and that's that. And then in order to create the little checkbox item, it's called a J checkbox menu item. I just call it S bar, and you can see I just put show status, and that's exactly the words that will appear on the menu item itself. And right now, to start off, I set it equal to true. And then I want this menu to be on the view list. So I added, it's called S bar, so I added the S bar to the view. So that actually puts the view up there. Let's see if I can get this to come back up again. So the view up there, and on the view you'll see show status bar. And when it's true, it's checked off. And when it's not true or false, there's no check there. So that's how I do that. Add that on there. And now because the view menu is listed on here, I have to do the same thing I did with the file menu. I have to go and add it to the main menu that goes all the way across the top. So what I'm going to do is I am going to come down here, and right underneath where I put in file, where did I put that? Here it is. I added the view to the menu bar. So there's that. I also want to add the label onto the main panel. So you can see there's a label here. It's on the panel. So I've got to add that label onto the panel. So what I've done is I've gone to my panel. I've added my status bar. The status bar again is the label that I described way up here at the top. So I'm adding that on there. Okay, so basically that's how you add all the different things onto your program to make everything show up. But now I want to add that interactive piece. So what I want to do is I want to create an action listener for the bar. And the bar is called the check menu item bar. So that is called S bar. And I'm adding an action listener right here. And I call that action listener a check listener. So what I have to do at that point is I have to create a whole new method. So I'm going to make this method very much like the button listener that I have down at the bottom from a previous piece of the program. So I'm going to go scrolling all the way down here, and you can see that I've kind of mirrored, I went and looked at the button listener and kind of mirrored check listener to do the same thing. So private static class check listener. And then you can see that inside of it I put the action performed inside of there. And essentially what I've done here is if the status bar is visible, then set the visible to false. And if it's not visible, then set it to true. So it's a toggle. It toggles back and forth. Either it's on or it's off. So essentially those are the things that I did. I created a method here. I created a label at the top. I created a new J menu called view. I created a checkbox menu called S bar. Added the S bar to the view. Added an action listener to the S bar, put the panel together, added the status bar label to the panel, and finally I added the view to the menu bar. So that should do everything you need. See you next time.